Amen. Amen. Your attention is invited to three passages of scriptures, and we are going to be brief, but we want to look at the context of these passages to give us thought for the text. In the book of St. Mark, chapter 7, we want you to notice, and when you get time to read the remaining verses, at least through verse 13. But I just want to begin reading at the third verse. Let me get into the first word. Then came together unto him the Pharisees and certain of the scribes which came from Jerusalem. And when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defiled, that is to say, with unwashed hands, they found fault. For the Pharisees and all the Jews, except they wash their hands off, eat not, holding tradition of the elders. And when they come from the market, except they wash, they eat not. And many other things there be which they have received to hold as washing of cups and pots and brazen vessels and of tables. Then the Pharisees and the scribes asked him, why walk not thy disciples according to the tradition of the elders, but eat bread with unwashed hands? And he answered and said unto them, well has Esaias prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. This people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. And then in the book of Acts, chapter 17, we want you to notice the reading beginning at the 21st verse. For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else but either to tell or to hear some new thing. I say it again. For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else but either to tell or to hear some new thing. And one other verse, and then we will try to come forth with the word. And that verse is found in 2 Corinthians. We'd like for you to notice, if you please, these words from 2 Corinthians as 2 Corinthians 3 and 17. 2 Corinthians 3 and 17, you will find these words. And, all right, 17, okay. Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. From these three passages, I want to preach for a few moments from the thought, the wisdom of worship. The wisdom of worship. This is our fourth message in the series on worship. We began this series with the thought of preaching from this passage in Revelation, where we talked about Revelation chapter 4 and that 11th verse under the theme worship that is worthy, the overall theme for the series, worship that is worthy, worship that is worthy. And John tells us in Revelation, thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory, honor, and power, for thou hast created all things for thy pleasure, and they were created. Our first message was under the overall theme of worship that is worthy. Our first message was the wonder of worship. And then we followed that message up with the witness of worship. And then on last Sunday, we talked about the warfare of worship. And we conclude with the wisdom of worship. When we talked about the warfare of worship on last Sunday, we tried to point out to you that it is a warfare because we have to deal with an archenemy. And the archenemy is Satan. We do know that he desires our worship. Anytime one gives of his or her life unto the Lord, one must be prepared to put on the whole armor of God to stand against the wiles of the devil, to stand against Satan because of the fact that we are in a warfare. Amen. We got to become a soldier in God's army. And the reason why Satan is fighting us, because he knows if we start worshiping God, God is going to change us. And he does not want us to change. He will promise us the world. He will promise us everything. And what he promised, he cannot deliver because he is a deceiver. He seeks to divide, to destroy, and to demoralize. He won't tell you the whole story about himself, about how he got kicked out of heaven, how he was a fallen angel. And even though he is the prince of this world now, he is a defeated enemy. So we are in warfare.